Ellis Way TN. Please subscribe, like, share, all the good things. Comments. I love questions. All of it. Send them to me. I wanted to jump on and just get you guys ready. If you're on our page, we do canning, a lot of gardening. We process our own meat, things like that, deer meat, and then we usually buy from a farm for beef and things like that. And I'll share those things with you. But I wanted to jump on before canning season starts and talk about stuff you need for canning. This is stuff I use, and as always, it's the Ellis Way TN. So my way may not be your way. It may not be your grandmother's way. I have taught myself. My grandmother canned, my mom did not. So I taught myself. Learned a lot of it on here on YouTube. Learned a lot of the trial and error. I've been canning probably 25, almost 30 years. Talked to a lot of older people on how they used to can before we had all the gadgets. I talked to younger people that know how to use all the gadgets. So I get information from everyone that I can. And then, like I said, it's a lot of trial and error. But I wanted to talk to you first real quick to get you ready for canning season. So if you're going to follow along with my page, I want you to be ready before canning season comes, because a lot of stores run out of stuff. I was looking for lids last year and couldn't find them anywhere. I was looking for, actually it was rings I was looking for, not lids. I was looking for rings everywhere. Jars. One year I went and bought all new jars. So since then, I spread the word. Tell everybody you know you need jars. A friend of mine got me probably, I don't know, huge boxes. There was probably 8 to 9 boxes full of all different size jars. This little cutie even came in, it's really old, for $40. Some people gift them to me. Family member passes away, they don't can, they gift them to me. Get them wherever you can. Jars don't go bad. So you can reorder things. But anyways, I want to talk to you guys about getting prepared before your garden comes in. Because there's things you need before it comes in, not when it comes in. So we're going to talk about that a little bit on this video. Bernice is back here making cookies while I am doing a video. You might see her a little bit, but that way she's doing her own thing. First, when you start picking, get you some buckets. These came from Walmart, so you can get them anywhere. We pick with 5-gallon buckets, and then we come inside our bags. We come inside and we separate everything, and then I put them in tubs to wash them. We drain them, and then we will let them dry a little bit, and then we wash these out and use these after we've cut them up. If we're taking skins off tomatoes, things like that, they'll go from one to the other once we've done that. These are great. You can never have too many. I think I have like 4 of these I use. And you'll see, I'll try to add some pictures at some point, but you'll see we process a lot. We have a really big garden. And then I love this one. This one was gifted to me with some jars. It's awesome. Love, love, love this. This one's good for doing big batches of tomatoes, sauces, things like that too. So make sure you get some buckets. Then we're going to talk really quick about jars. I don't have a preference on jars. Some people have a preference. Again, this is the Ellis Way TN. So my way may not be your way. Your way's not my way, but we can all do this together. So that's what I'm here for, to give you a way. I do things. I found a lot of shortcuts through the years that work to make things easier and stuff like that. So jars, I do not necessarily have a preference. So you can use this. I usually use the smaller mouth jars. I don't know if you can see. I usually use the smaller mouth jars, like tomatoes, even sauces, things like that. Then you have the wider mouth, same thing. It really doesn't matter to me on either one of these. I just use what I have. Like I said, I bought a lot used. I bought them gifted. I bought them brand new. We bought probably like 3 or 4 years ago. We didn't have any jars. We bought cases. Like every time we went to Tractor Supply, we bought a case. Every time we went to Walmart, we bought a case. We just kept buying them. And now they're really expensive. So they're like probably $1.50 to $2.50 depending on where you live, a jar. So I do ask for people to return jars if I gift them goodies. I do ask for them to return, but like I said, you can find them at garage sales. You can find them online, like wherever. I don't have a preference on jars. use the little jars. I usually use this for salsa, pickles, jams, anything like that. I use these littler ones for. Sometimes for tomatoes too, because now it's just me and my husband. Sometimes I cook for two, and these are perfect. Then I love these. These are great too. Pretty much the same thing. Little batches of pickles, stuff like that. I do big batches, but I'll use the little jars just so when you open them, normally most everything that you can, once you open it, it's only good for like a week to 2 weeks. I don't keep anything longer than that unless it's pickles and it's mostly vinegar. Then you're good for a while after it's been opened. Then this jar, I love this jar. I probably won't use it, but if I was to use it, I'd probably do like tomato juice, something like that in it. Just a second, buddy.
I can't get it.
Now lids. I always use ball lids. That's somewhere, sorry the camera's moving, someone touched it. I'll help you in just a second. Lids, I use ball lids for years. Sometimes I use whatever I get my hands on because there was a shortage there for a while. But I got these Roots Harvest at an auction that Tractor Supply actually donated to, an FFA auction. I bought a whole bucket of these last year and I absolutely love them. It's a Roots Harvest. I'll put it up closer so you can see it in a second. And this is a Tractor Supply. I also believe you can go to LEM. If you ever order anything from LEM, it's great for like spices and things like that when you're doing meats and stuff like that. The rings or lids, they're can lids, sorry. These are wide mouths. I bought these on, I ran out of wide mouths last year. I have tons of small ones, I ran out of wide mouths. And I have to kind of use whatever jars I have, so I go back and forth. I got these on Amazon and I'll attach that. I believe you can get these on Amazon too. As far as the rings, I'm not picky about the rings. I buy them in big packs like this on Amazon. Big packs like this on Amazon. And there's like, I'll attach these on there too. If you're an old-time canner, you say you don't have to leave your rings on them. I did have to, because I ran rings last year, I did have to take them off and put them on other things. And that's perfectly fine. You can store them without the rings. I prefer to store them with the rings, just in case it goes bad. You've got that 2% chance that something's gonna go bad, or 1 out of 10 is gonna go bad. If you've got a ring on it, it's not gonna come out. So if it goes bad and you've only got the lid on it, then the lid's gonna pop open and it can come out and make a mess. So I like the rings in case it does go bad. You can tell when you open something or you look at it, if there's not a seal on it, it's bad. If it's isn't set enough and you store it. So the ring just keeps it from making a mess if it does go bad. So that's pretty much the gist of the jars. I kind of use whatever. There's all kind of different sizes depending on what you're doing. I've got some bigger jars I use for storing dry goods, things like that. The dry goods, I will use my new little handy dandy vacuum sealer. Where did I put it, right? Oh. Let's see. Oh, right here, sorry. So I did a video on this. You can kind of go back to the videos. This little sealer is awesome. It does a wide mouth and it does small lids or small mouth. And I put portion size spaghetti in there for us. I store flour in them. I have bigger ones I store flour, sugar, things like that in. So it's a great addition to our food storage. And it's really good for dry things. Super cheap, recharges. You can open it up, put the lid back on and reseal it as long as you don't damage the lid. Oh, let me go back to the jars. If you get jars anywhere, doesn't matter if you buy them new, you buy them used, whatever. If you wash them good, sterilize them, you're good. The main thing you want to watch is the rim. You want to make sure, you want to fill the rim and make sure that there's no cracks in it or chips in it. If there's any cracks or chips in it, you don't want to use it. Same thing if you're reusing the rings. So if you're reusing the little rings that go around the jar and the lid, you want to make sure there's no rust on them. So if there's any rust on it whatsoever, it will rust through your lid and it'll spoil whatever you canned. So you want to be careful with that too. So that's pretty much start buying, get garage sales, whatever you can do as far as the jars. If you have any questions, just let me know. I been through it. Like I buy the Ball brand at Walmart and Tractor Supply. Like I said, I've gotten, now I had a lady gift me, her mother passed away and she had tons and she doesn't can. It seems like it skips a generation. But she gave me tons of jars. Bought jars of grass seeds. Like I said, I had friends coming in. I've got cases of them. I'll kind of maybe I'll do a little bit out there when I get a chance to go out the garage and show you those. I get them wherever I can. Also, when you get, I reuse, you don't have to, I reuse jars that I buy stuff at the local grocer. We have an Amish market I reuse those jars. This is another one. I bought some jam in North Carolina and this was in it. I reused this, and I even reuse the lids that comes on them. They'll, as long as they seal, you're good. So you just do it the same way, and as you process the others and put on there while it's hot, and it should seal, no problem. These, I actually prefer these. I like these. And you can buy these brand new. It's just totally up to you what you want to do. There's lots of varieties. Some of the stuff I can is hot chili sauce. It's like, you know, with chicken and shrimp, beans, whatever. Like I said, I even put up dry goods. This is a red pepper jelly. It's so good over cream cheese. It's wonderful. Hot banana pepper. Actually, these are, yeah, hot banana peppers, and they're in garlic and hot sauce and things and stuff in there. I've got recipes I'll put online this year. Candied jalapenos. Do lots of those. Everybody loves those. This was some pickles, and I even put jalapenos in them, pickled jalapenos. Just put them together. And they're really good. And then this is my spaghetti sauce. This is my absolute favorite spaghetti sauce I've ever made. I didn't do spaghetti. Okay, just a minute, buddy. I didn't do spaghetti for years, spaghetti sauce, and I did it last year, and it was so good. So I will have that up recipe and how to make that too. But that's just some of the stuff. I do lots of jams. I do a guava jam, peach jam, strawberry jam, lots of jams. It's whatever fruits I can get a hold of. We don't have like a lot of access to like fresh. We have places to go pick strawberries. I do that. You can also buy frozen from the store and put them up just like you would if you were doing fresh. That's also available to you. Fresh isn't available. I do that sometimes. It just depends if I'm in the mood to make a certain jelly or try something different. I'm gonna do some jalapeno. I do a jalapeno strawberry, and I did a jalapeno cherry. And this year I'm gonna try a jalapeno peach jam. So I'm kind of excited about that, to try that one, and I'll share that when I do that. But that's pretty much the canning part. Oh, you will want, so I use this more. This is a bath bathing canner. So it's a hot water bath. My grandmother used this the most. This is actually my grandmother's. And it's even comes with a little rack. They're super cheap at Walmart or Amazon online. But this, I use this pretty much 50% of the time. I've got other ways of doing it where you don't necessarily have to do that, but that is a way to can. The other way is with a pressure cooker. So if something doesn't have enough acidity in it, like tomatoes are right on the line, but I'll have recipes for that where you just add a little lemon juice to them. It increases acidity in them so they can be hot water bath instead of putting in a pressure cooker. Green beans, things like that have to go in the pressure cooker because they just don't have enough acidity in them. So some things you can add, like you can add lemon juice, you can add a little vinegar or things like that to make it where you can just put it in the hot water bath. For certain recipes, I don't even use either. So I'll share that when I get ready to do those recipes. There's all kinds of ways to do it. I'll share tips on how I sterilize my jars. I don't really do that traditional way either. I found quicker ways to do it through the years. And then I thought I was doing something new, and I found out the other day the way I sterilize my jars. There's a little lady that's probably in her 80s or 90s, and that's how she did it. So it's kind of neat. You can figure out different ways to do things. But as far as canning or putting things in jars, hot water bath, you can pressure cook. Like I said, this is a great tool to have even for reseal and stuff. So like if you open up some jam and you want to put it in the fridge, you could reseal it with this and put it in the fridge, and it'll last a little bit longer. You just want to pay attention to it. And I'll try to attach this again. I do have a video on this and some of the stuff that I use it for, so if you can go, please go watch that. Appreciate it. But jars is all up to you on what you like to use. Bigger things, I do like to use the wide mouth for sauces, tomatoes, things like that. I usually use a smaller mouth. I actually prefer the small mouth because I just think with this rim stuff, you can kind of measure stuff a little bit better in there and keep it down further while you're filling it and things like that. So that's kind of how we can. That's the things you need at can. I'll put it that way to get you started. The tubs are great, like I said, for prepping. I'll have videos when we prep. We sit here at night and prep stuff for hours, and then I can it or I put it up, whatever. I'm gonna show you some other ways I put stuff up, but canning is our main thing. It doesn't take up room in your freezer space. It has a shelf life. If it's stored in a cool, dry place with no sunlight, it has a really good shelf life. I usually keep mine for 2 years, depending on what it is. Some people say a year. That's up to you. I'm telling you the Ellis way. You just have to watch it. Depends on what it is. You can research it just like I did. No one taught me, I taught myself. But there's different ways of doing it, and I want to share those things with you guys this year. So if you haven't subscribed to our page, please subscribe to our page because we're going to have all kind of recipes on. It makes things simple. Most of my meals I cook in less than 30 minutes because I prep the spaghetti sauce. I've got vegetables I can add to it really quick that are partially cooked. Things like that. Most of the stuff that you can, it's going to be all the way cooked. So if it's a vegetable, you're canning squash, you're canning potatoes, you're canning zucchini, like whatever your tomato, like tomatoes are my favorite and I do tomato juice, but they're ready. Like they're already cooked. So it just makes recipes faster throughout the year. It preps you ahead of time. It is a little bit of prep time doing it originally, but it just makes things go quicker. So I'm going to come back and show you some more stuff. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys about spices really quick and then vacuum sealing. So Mrs. Wags, they sell these at pretty much Walmart, Tractor Supply, Amazon. I'll try to attach them if I remember. But Mrs. Wags, I use all my pickles. I use Mrs. Wags. It's just easier. I've tried making my own before, doing dill pickles, things like that. But it's just so easy, and they turn out so good with the Mrs. Wags. And I buy these ahead of time because they do sell out at Walmart. They also have salsa mixes. I do my own salsa, everything like from here. I don't buy any mixes for that. Some people do. Some people buy the spaghetti sauce mix. I make my own spaghetti sauce too. But the pickles, I do buy the Mrs. Wags. She also has I guess it's a she. She has a bread and butter pickle mix too. There's several different varieties, but I bought these. I was bought at Walmart and I was having a hard time getting them, so I started buying them on Amazon in bulk. Get these ahead of time. They don't go bad. This is a lot of salt and all kinds of, it's not going to go bad. I store them in like a Rubbermaid like sealed container and buy them when I can, when I'm thinking about it, because I do a lot of pickles. But they have all kinds, but that's it. I also buy pectin. Some people buy it in the little boxes, like it comes in like looks like a pudding box pectin. I buy mine in the little bigger container because sometimes I may only do a certain amount of it instead of doing what's on the box. So this way I can just add a little bit or add what I need, whatever, and I've got one of these. I order a few of these a year. Doesn't take a lot, so you just probably need a few. You know how much jams and stuff like that you're gonna make. If you have a local Amish market, they also have pickling spice. I use this pickling spice for, it's just a good mixture. I use it. You probably like Google, or I might try to do that and do a recipe on that later on. But this is good. I like doing pickled squash with this. It tastes really good. But it's just a pickling spice. You can make yourself. Just a bunch of different, it'll be salt, which you can buy canning salt or pickling salt at Amazon, Walmart, whatever, to do your pickles. So you can add this to it, and vinegar, and you've got all your spices in there. It's just a little different. I like the pickling spice. I do the okra with this too. I also use the Mrs. Wags kosher mix I just showed you guys. I use that for my pickled okra. Forgot about that. That's one of our favorites. And I do a spicy pickled okra too, but the pickled okra, I use the kosher for that. And I'll see if I can get a little closer to it. It's just, but they're super easy. The directions are even on there, so there's no recipe unless you want to add a little extra or whatever. It's super easy. So that's the main spices I use. Like I said, I make my own salsa. I'll have that recipe in spaghetti sauce and get ready to do salsa and spaghetti sauce. I do a hot sauce, salsa, medium salsa. I use my salsa for soup starters throughout the year too, so I make a lot of salsa. I honestly don't eat a lot of chips and things like that, believe it or not. I'm just not a chip person. But I use the salsa for all kind of different stuff. So I'll share the recipe for that because we use our own onions, we use our own green peppers, red peppers, whatever we have, cayenne peppers, and we just make our own salsa. Vacuum sealing, love this. So I have probably, I think now currently I have 5 deep freezers. So we have 2 deep freezers are smaller, but they're packed full of just deer meat. And we process them. We'll be showing you all that probably this fall. We process on deer meat, do all that. Then I have a freezer for my vegetables for my garden. And I do freeze some. I like to do both. Freezing is a lot easier. It's a lot quicker. But eventually you're going to run out of storage if you have a big garden like mine. So long term, canning is the way to go. You can freeze, thaw it out, and can it. If something happened to my freezer, I usually have enough jars on the side that I could let it thaw out, can it, do something with it, and it's ready to go again. So if you vacuum seal it, it just lasts a lot longer in the freezer. This is actually okra, and I do it this size because I make a lot of gumbo and in the wintertime, and I love the okra. And you don't cook it very long, so it stays crunchy, it doesn't get soggy, it's really good. Because I vacuum sealed it, got all the air out of it. But I love this vacuum sealer. This is my favorite one I've ever had, and I've had this one for a couple of years. Actually, I think we got it from my husband, because we vacuum seal our deer meat after we process it too. But I love this vacuum sealer. And you can get it on Walmart, you can get it at, let's see if I can get closer. You can get it at Walmart. You can get it at Amazon. And I'll see if I can find one similar to it because I've had it a couple years. But Food Saver, just can't beat a Food Saver when you're getting to vacuum sealer. This actually, you can load the bags at the bottom like this, and you pull them out and seal them, cut them, and you can make them whatever size you want. I hate dealing with this. I don't know why. I just don't like dealing with it. So I like to buy my bags on Amazon already, and you can buy LEM, I think has them on Amazon, but they're already like this size. This is the size, and I get a bigger size too. And then I just fill this up. So this would be like a portion for me and my husband. If I'm doing green, let me take it back. This would be like if I'm doing green peppers, a little bit of okra, strips of green peppers for fajitas later on, whatever I'm doing with it. If it's just something you just need not as big a portion of, I'll usually use these if it's like an add-in. Love these. I buy a ton of these. I do get a bigger one. I don't have one in here with me. I forgot to grab one out of the freezer because I'm out of those size. I do buy the gallon size, and that's what I'll do. Squash, zucchini, anything that I have more of. We do a lot of squash and zucchini, and then tomatoes. I don't normally freeze tomatoes. I've tried freezing them. I've even froze whole tomatoes before because I saw somebody do it on YouTube, and they did not turn out good. I froze them, and then you're supposed to be able to peel them really easy later on, and they just turned to mush. So I won't be doing that again, and I'll bring that up at another time. I can all my tomatoes. It's just easier. The flavor is phenomenal. You can do so many different things with them. Make juice from it. Like I just can my tomatoes. I grew up eating homegrown tomatoes. My grandma was very stingy with her tomatoes when she canned them, and I know why, because it's a lot of work, but it's so worth it. Love canned tomatoes. So that's what we do primarily the most of, is canned tomatoes. Because you can make salsa with them later on. You can put them in stews later on, like whatever you're doing. But this vacuum sealer is great for anything that you want to put in your freezer. Like I said, we put meat in it, processed meat. We put okra, we do squash, zucchini, green peppers, jalapenos. You can go ahead and core out your jalapenos, vacuum seal them, and then they're ready to go for poppers and things like that. So It makes it a lot easier to prep time, a lot less. Super easy to do. But I did want to share that. You can get these bags. I'll try to attach that also on Amazon. You can get these rolls on Amazon. This Food Saver, you can get on Amazon or Walmart, wherever you want to go. Another way to store things, if you dehydrate, and I didn't bring my dehydrator up here. I have probably 30 dehydrators because we use the dehydrator, and I'll try to attach it. It has trays. And I dehydrated tomatoes last year. I don't think I'll do it again because it just took a lot, and I made powder out of for like tomato soup, things like that, or if you're camping, whatever, you've got a base. So I did dehydrate tomatoes last year, and it was just a lot of work, and I ground them up and then I put them in Mylar bags. But it's great for camping, survival thing, on the go, but it's a lot of work. But you can dehydrate tomatoes, you can dehydrate all your fruits, you can pretty much anything. Dehydrated okra, just whatever you want to do. And sorry, I have somebody back here who wants me to help them with their princess dress. So you can dehydrate whatever. You can dehydrate pretty much anything that you can, or you freeze. You can dehydrate it. You'll find that you can find a use for it. Dehydrate and save space, and if you dehydrate, it will last for 10 years. So when I dehydrate, I'll either seal it in one of these, if it's just for short-term storage, and you can reseal it, like whatever you want to do. If I'm storing rice, beans, I even let my beans dry out a lot of times from the garden and dehydrate them just for a few minutes just to get the rest of the moisture out of them. And rice, if you buy rice in bulk, things like that, you can get Mylar bags. These are the oxygen absorbers. I buy these on Amazon in bulk, and I get, like, this is just some oxygen absorbers I open, I just reseal. But I buy these little Mylar bags already pre-done, and I'll do like spices and things like that in those, and the little ones. And then I actually have these big ones that I will do flour that I'll do flour in, and you actually unseal it, and then you can put a oxygen absorber in it. And these, they have a little tab on, so you just put it together, and then the oxygen absorber will take the oxygen out of it. With these, I actually seal these. So I just run through the heat part on my sealer, and it seals them if you're using little ones, and then the oxygen absorbers, I guess. That's a great way to just put up dry stuff. I buy beans, rice, at least a bag or two. I think I've talked about this when I've talked about pantry before. I'll buy a bag or two every time I go to the store just to stock up. And I don't know, we've had times we couldn't get groceries. The store, and I'm not trying to get into all that, but there's been times there's been nothing on the shelves. So I could feed my family for literally what I have in food storage. I could literally feed me and my husband. I have 3 daughters. One daughter's married with a child. I literally could feed my family for over a year on what I have stored. And I have little waste. So we can talk about later on if you guys are interested in that, on how I store stuff. But we have little waste. I don't like wasting anything. I really want to have a couple pigs, so when stuff spoils in the garden, things like that, I can feed the pigs. So I'm not even wasting the spoiled stuff from the garden. I hate wasting food. So that's just another way of doing with the vacuum sealer. That's just another way of doing it. Mylar bags, we did that. Dehydrating, like I said, we do dehydrate a lot. We dehydrate deer meat for jerky. We make the best jerky. I'll have to share that with you guys and get ready to do that. We dehydrate meat. We can, like I said, you can dehydrate just about any vegetable. We're already getting into freeze drying eventually because I want to do like whole meals. And you can do that dehydrating too. You can dehydrate a whole mix for a stew, like a vegetable stew, and you can put it in one of these little bags. Put your seasoning in there. You can put dried tomatoes in there that you ground up for the seasoning. All your seasoning you could put, or for your base, put your seasoning in there. You could add some beef broth, powdered beef broth, or you could add some powdered chicken broth. Whatever in that bag, vegetables, potatoes, everything. Seal it up in a Mylar bag, When you go camping, you just take out your little oxygen absorber and you add boiled water to it. My husband has a little rocket stove, I think that's what it's called. It's a little bitty stove, and he does that. So he buys them actually. So it's like buying an MRE or whatever. It's like buying one of those, but you can make it yourself super easy from your garden or stuff you buy at the store that's not going to last because you're not going to cook it or whatever. So you can dehydrate it really quick and then put it up in bags. Just rehydrate it later. Super easy. I'll show you some of that stuff as we do that. We're not doing that right now. So I just wanted to share with you to get you guys prepared for canning season, because I'm fixing to drop a lot of canning videos as I do them. As I do it, I just go ahead and do a video. That way it's done. I'll attach the recipes. Super easy. I work full time. If you notice, there's a little one in the background. I have a granddaughter and I watch her a lot. She's with me all the time. So blessed that she gets to come over and visit me and hang out with me. I never turn her down. She likes to help. So she's not so much putting on video, but she likes to help and so she helps me do everything. Like, she helps me get vegetables ready. She helps me wash them. She loves picking the garden, so she'll be out there with us picking and doing things. She loves doing that. So I want to share all of this with her, and that's the main reason I did this page, is because I want this to go from generation to generation, not skip or skip several. I totally wholeheartedly believe that she's going to do this one day, and I hope she has these videos to help her, and she sees herself in the videos doing stuff. So I just want to share that with you, get you prepared, make you a list. I'll try to attach most of the stuff I've showed you in the video, and I hope you enjoy canning season with me. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it most days. It's a lot of work. We can almost every night. When we get done working, we were prepping or getting ready to can. We'll can along weekends, Saturday and Sundays. But it's a short time. And then I've got meals prepped, food prepped for the year, so it doesn't take me long to cook meals. If you guys saw my pantry in one of my videos before, to see all the stuff I use. I also have storage downstairs, and I've got tons of canned goods still from last year. And it's still good. So you can make things, if you spend a little time now, you can make things easier the rest of the year when it comes to cooking and prepping, and you have great food. Like I said, I'll share my jams, things like that. We use those all year long. I've got some recipes coming up with some of those. And please subscribe to our page, like, share. We appreciate every bit of it. Like I said before, I'm doing this for my friends and family, but I hope anyone that's not my friends and family become my friends, and you enjoy it too. And I hope I can share the things I do the Ellis way. Have a good night. So I just wanted to share, all of this is jars, all my lids, my seals. All but that one box of lids and seals was gifted. And this is what I had left from last year. 2 different families gifted me a ton. It was such a blessing. These are what I got the other day, and they're just packed full of jars. These spilt out. Gotta get these picked up, but I'm gonna clean them up and then I'll put them up. These even came with the containers for $40 for all of this. So it pays to tell your friends you need jars. Get them where you can. I'm always on the lookout for them.